Greetings, Lucky Legends. My name is Lucky. This is Lucky Lad TV. I am your host for this video, and it is time for Lucky Analytics VGC. In this episode, this one's probably going to be VGC 1. Well, yeah, it'll probably be VGC 1 unless I don't do another Lucky Analytics for VGC. Basically, here's my plan. When it's a 6v6 for Smogon tiering, I'm going to do it live. Because when it's 6v6 for Smogon tiering, I pretty much never tweak with the team once I've made it. Whereas with VGC, you have to tweak with it because your Pokemon aren't surviving certain moves, they're not outspeeding certain things. Whereas when you're doing it in Smogon, you know what people are running because most things are very, very standard. So, as you can see by the layout, the two stars, so to speak, of this team are Steven Stone, the Mega Metagross, and Bayav, the Hariyama. And the reason being is that I had this idea. My idea was Landorus Therian is on every fucking team. Every team. And it comes in, and it intimidates your Pokemon, and unless you can get off unless you can crit it, you're not going to one-shot it most of the time. I don't think I found anything in the meta that was able to one-shot it with an Ice Beam if, and while this is extremely unlikely, the Landorus in question was max HP, max special defense with an Assault Vest with the Careful Nature, which is plus special defense minus special attack. With that set, I was unable to find anything in the meta that could one-shot it because nothing really got stabbed from Ice Beam that also had really good special attack. Milotic probably would come pretty close. My next thought after that was Ice Shard. Double Ice Shard it to death, but then I came back into the issue of the Intimidate. Ice Shard is, of course, a physical move. So then I thought, well, what if you have a Pokemon with Defiant? And there aren't that many Pokemon that have Defiant. Bisharp's really the only one that's in the meta of VGC. And Bisharp does not match up well against Landorus Therian. Landorus Therian has Earthquake and 145 base attack. That's not going to go very well. So my next thought after that, which is the thought that I was able to run with, is what about Clear Body? Or, well, actually I thought White Herb, and then I was like, that's kind of a waste of an item. Because you literally only have it there for Landorus Therian, to be perfectly realistic. So, I created Steven Stone. Steven Stone is this Metagross here. And the EVs on this Metagross look very weird. Once it has Mega Evolved, its stats go up, obviously. And its defense is high enough that a max attack Adamant Landorus Therian does not one-shot it with an Earthquake. It does like 99%, but it doesn't one-shot. The other Pokemon that I was worried about with this thing taking a hit from was Heatran, so that 180 plus in special defense, again, it'll do about 99% or something like that, but a Heat Wave from a modest max special attack Heatran will not one-shot. With this EV spread, I guarantee I'm able to live either of those hits. I don't have anything to hit Heatran back with, so I probably wouldn't leave it in against that. However, a max HP, max defense Landorus, even if it's the Impish Nature, gets one-shotted by an Ice Punch with that much attack investment with the Tough Claws boost that Mega Metagross gets. So, with Landorus Therian running all over everything. This is kind of the solution that I came up with, and I'm a really big fan of it because the way that it works with Hariyama and the way that Hariyama actually works with the rest of the team is really, really cool. And I'm going to kind of explain everything to you guys, my thought process behind everything, and really break down every little bit. So this one's going to be much more extensive in terms of detail than the standard Lucky Analytics, however, to the same extent. It's probably not going to be as long because everything is already built. So, for Steven Stone, the main thing about it is the Ice Punch. That's like the secret trick. Apparently a lot of people run Ice Punch on it, but the trick that I have here works the same with Salamence, which is a big problem. Mega Salamence as well, obviously. It probably works with Garchomp's pretty bulky, but it doesn't have Intimidate. I actually probably would not be able to one-shot a max defense, impish, max HP Garchomp. However, it does not get Intimidate, so that's kind of not the reason I used it. Zen Headbutt and Iron Head are stab moves. As you can see, my Metagross is not that fast. Mega Metagross has base... I don't even remember what its base speed is, but I don't really have speed much of anything. I was much more focused on bulk. My entire team is relatively slow. And I'm okay with that because that's not really what I was... I'm not too concerned about speed control. When you look at the meta that's currently the most popular, this team matches up relatively well against it. It matches up well against Kangaskhan. It matches up well against Landorus, Thundurus. It matches up really well against like Sylveon and Togekiss and stuff like that. So that's Steven Stone, the Mega Metagross, who most of the time my opening two are Steven Stone and Bayambayav. If you don't know the name name Bayambayav is the name of the sumo wrestling world champion. And he's also a really cool dude. Like, he's been on TV shows like Whose Line Is It Anyway and Impractical Jokers, and just fucks with people the whole time because he's enormous and terrifying and everybody's scared of him, but it's hilarious. So that's Bayambayav. Leftovers with Guts. Guts because I don't want to get nerfed by being burned. The other reason is that it's quite possible that I will catch a paralysis. This video is actually probably going to be around the same length. It's probably going to be around like 30 to 40 minutes. But anyway, this is the fattest that I wanted it. As you can, of course, see, I could have made it fatter than it is. However, a little bit of damage. Because this thing, it's not only for, you know, utility. It's also there to hit pretty hard. I wanted to be able to two-shot your average Kangaskhan. I don't know if I do, but I know that I can slow it down. And Kangaskhan can't really touch me, because I'm Hariyama. Basically, there are a bunch of Pokemon that I gotta turn my fan on. There were a bunch of different Pokemon that I was considering using for the purpose of this slot is Wide Guard and some priority. I also wanted a fighting type because I wanted it to be able to deal with Kangaskhan. My nose is itchy. I'm sorry. Like, the main purpose of Pokemon are to deal with the two most common Pokemon in the VGC meta. Mega Kangaskhan, Landorus Therian. And Tornadus Therian, I mean, not Tornadus, Thundurus Incarnate as well, but that one less so. So there were a few Pokemon that I looked through. I looked through Hitmontop with Intimidate. It also gets Fake Out. It gets Wide Guard, which is one of the moves that I was looking for to prevent that Earthquake damage from the Landorus Therian. I was looking at Machamp. It gets Wide Guard. It gets Bullet Punch. It gets No Guard. It gets Guts as well. I was looking at Conkeldurr. Pretty much the same thing as Machamp, except instead of Bullet Punch. So I was looking at a lot of different things, and the main thing that I wanted for this Mon was fatness. I wanted it to be able to take as many hits as possible. And even with no attack investment or speed investment whatsoever, none of the other Pokemon could match Hariyama's level of fatness. If you add the HP stat, defense stat, and special defense stat together, for Hariyama, it reaches 431. 431. No other Pokemon could reach that level. A couple of them came close. Like, Conkeldurr came pretty close. It was around like 4... I think it was like 418 or something like that. However, its attack was then lower than Hariyama's. So Hariyama was the best choice, in my opinion, to fill this role. Low sweep, the fake out. The fake out really comes in handy because when I'm up against the Landorus Therian, what I usually end up doing is faking out the Landorus Therian and then hitting it with the Ice Punch, because then I don't have to take any earthquake damage, and I've gotten a huge threat out of the way. The knockoff is really utilitarian. It's not really there to do that much damage. The low sweep, I would have run close combat, but I really don't want my defenses being lowered, and there are no other fighting type moves that I really felt it would benefit from having. If it got Drain Punch, I would be running Drain Punch. However, it does not learn that move. So that's like the main thing right there. And all of Bayambaiav's weaknesses are covered by Steven Stone. But I wanted to get a really reliable Mon with some switch initiative. So I reached for a goodie but an oldie, or an oldie but a goodie, Rotom Wash. I went with Efficience, because, you know, it's a washing machine. It's all about efficiency. And that special defense stat and HP stat, I don't remember why I gave it all that special defense. I don't remember why. Let me try and think. Maybe it's... I don't think it would be a Thunderbolt from Thundurus, because I don't think I would be as worried about that. I remember what it was. It's a modest max special attack Giga Drain from a Mega Venusaur, because Mega Venusaur is a fat bitch, and I hate it. It's annoying. Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, Will-O-Wisp, Protect. It's a pretty standard set. I don't know if the EV spread is that standard, but it has a Citrus Berry and Levitate. I'm pretty sure this is relatively standard. I know max HP is standard for, well, for VGC in general, to be honest with you guys, because you know that there's a possibility of your Pokemon taking 2 attacks in one turn, so you want that extra bit of bulk. So I had efficiency, and I realized that I had... This thing was mainly to cover the ground weakness of Steven Stone. It also helped with the flying weakness of Bayambaiav, because Talonflame it's still a thing. Whether or not you see it that often, Talonflame's still around with priority Brave Bird, which is terrifying. And I also realized that I wanted something that hit insanely hard, like as hard as I could get it to hit. So I was thinking huge power. The first thing that I thought of was Medicham. Medicham was my first thought because it gets the Drain Punch, it gets priority, it also gets Fake Out, but it's more flying issues, and it's also another dark issue and a ghost issue. So I actually had a ghost weakness that wasn't being addressed. So I realized, oh, I need a normal type. So I was thinking, oh, I'll go with Kangaskhan. But I already have a Mega on the team, and regular Kangaskhan's not that great. So I went with my good friend, Ear Strength, the Diggersby. It has 107 speed. That is to outspeed a relatively uninvested... Basically, if you have 4 speed EVs in a Cresselia, I will outspeed it by 1. You're probably wondering, why Cresselia? Cresselia is all over the fucking place. And most things can't one-shot Ear Strength. It's pretty fat. But what I was actually noticing happening a lot is that I would live a heat wave. Would I live the... No, wait. What was it? What was happening? I don't remember what was happening. I would take an attack from... Oh yeah, this is exactly what happened. Because I was practicing with this team here on Showdown so that I would learn all the different little tweaks that I need to make. And what happened was I lived a Heat Wave from a Mega Charizard Y, and I was about to get my Rock Slide off, but Cresselia outsped me and killed me with a Psychic. Because I was down pretty low. And I was thinking, well, nobody really runs max speed Cresselia. It's most common for Trick Room, because it can set up Trick Room, and it's bulky as shit. It's a bulky bitch. It's a pain in the ass. It's the main reason why I have knockoff on Bayon Bayoff, because Psychic does not one-shot Bayon Bayoff. I think it was at like +2, and Psychic didn't one-shot me. I also have safety goggles on it for Amoonguss. Earthquake does about 50% to Amoonguss, and it can't put me to sleep. It's primarily there for a Amoonguss switch-in. It's not really there to like try and go toe-to-toe with it, because Giga Drain will still do a lot. I think it also does around 50%, but Amoonguss wins that war. I don't win that war, because I get two-shotted by Giga Drain or something like that, and I'm not able to two-shot it. I can't Earthquake, Quick Attack it, because it doesn't die. So that's Rock Slide is for the Talonflames, the Mega Charizard Ys. It's for the Thundurus as well. It does about 50% to Thundurus. The reason I like, and it's also a really great switch in against Thundurus. I switched this thing on Thunderbolts, Volt Switches, Thunders, Thunder Waves. I switched this thing in on Thundurus a lot when I was practicing. I probably did like 10 matches because I really wanted to get all the spreads down to the point where I really, really was satisfied with it. I was very tempted not to run Protect. However, it's come in handy more often than not. Not because like I gain any HP back or because my other Pokemon have spread moves. The main reason it's come in handy so much is for scouting. And also because it helps me check speed. Make sure that I outspeed certain things. So that's Ear Strength. It does really well. The Quick Attack has come in handy more often than not. It does a lot. It's Stab. It's Max Attack, Adamant, Huge Power. It does a lot. It's Priority. It's awesome. It does a lot. I've killed a few Scizor with it, which is crazy because it's a Scizor. But then I have Toronto, named after the Toronto Togekiss, the Heated Moe's team for the UCL United Championship League. I think that's what it stands for. Max HP, max defense with the Assault Vest. I know what you're thinking. Why? That means you can't run Follow Me. That means you can't run Protect. You can't run Roost. You can't run Soft-Boiled. You can't blah, 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 blah. I needed this thing for coverage and utility. Incinerate has come in handy so many times. It gets rid of the Citrus Berry on Thundurus, which it pretty much always has. It does a decent amount an Incinerate Air Slash combo will one-shot a Moongus. It one-shots a Moongus, which is really nice. The Shadow Ball. The Shadow Ball one-shots Aegislash when it's in its blade form if it's uninvested. And Aegislash cannot one-shot me with the Flash Cannon, no matter what its investment is. Modest max special attack does not one-shot me with a Flash Cannon. That's why... That's like... It's one of those scenarios where you think you lose the match, where the person with the Aegislash goes, okay, I win this matchup. No, you fucking don't. Because you're going to get one-shot by a Shadow Ball, and I'm not going to... And you're probably wondering, well, why do you also have 2 fairy types on the team? Well, it's because Backbow is like the other half of Togekiss, so to speak. It's got the Friend Guard, which reduces the damage that my allies, and I'm pretty sure Clefairy itself. No, just the allies, not Clefairy. They only take 3/4 damage from attacks. It is Follow Me, Thunder Wave, Helping Hand, Wish. The Follow Me comes in handy a lot because I don't want my other Pokemon dying. The Thunder Wave has come in handy a good amount. As you can see, it has no attacking moves. It does, however, have Helping Hand and Wish. The Wish has come in handy way more often than you think, because what I usually end up doing is wishing when Backbow is about to go down, and then I can switch something in and protect and absorb the wish and get my HP back up. And as you can see, it's max HP. With the Eviolite, it goes up to 137.5 defense and special defense, which is really nice and high. Why do I have... Oh, I fucked this up. Totally forgot. 84. 152. 56. I don't need any special attack investment. I used to run an attacking move on it, but it's completely unnecessary. And you know what? Actually, I'll be able to get you even higher, because I can add 8 here, bring you up to 92. Now I can add 8 here to bring you up to 164. And now it's even fatter than it was before. I didn't EV this thing in any specific way. I just wanted it to be neutrally bulky and take hits like a monster. I'm actually glad I caught that, because this isn't, you know, that much better, but it's a little bit better. Because now it's, well, half of 97 is 48.5. So add 8 and you're at 105, 105.5. So it's 145.5 is what each of its defenses go to. And that's high. That's actually really high. 145.5. That's a lot. That's a bulky bitch right there. 145.5, yeah. That's a bulky bitch right there. Or is it? Yeah. I'm not doing the math wrong. It's 145.5. That's a really bulky bitch. So that's Backbow. The Friend Guard has also come in handy, because Friend Guard lets it lets things live other moves. Like I don't remember. Steven Stone was able to take, I think, 2 flamethrowers from a Mega Salamence, which I don't think it would have been able to do without the Friend Guard. Because it brought me down really, really low. But I was able to one-shot the Salamence with an Ice Punch. And so that's the team. It's like the bulky method, but there's a lot more thought going into all of these spreads. Like, Steven Stone, I am very, very proud of. I wanted to be able to EV it so that it would be able to take a flamethrower, a heat wave from Mega Charizard Y in the sun, but that's not going to happen. Mega Charizard Y has 159 base special attack and it's boosted by the sun. That thing wrecks. Which is why I have Rotom Wash, because I can Volt Switch it, get out into my Diggersby, and Rock Slide it to death. So, that's my VGC team. I'm no Cybertron, I'm no X-Ray Reservation, I'm no anybody. I'm just me. If you enjoyed, if you like the team, anything like that, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. It's very much greatly appreciated. But with that, I'm gonna get about. Best of luck out there. I will see you all soon. Goodbye.